All right. So I got some fun I got to do today. Technically, day 4 for me of throwing, and Joe's just hanging out. Kind of have a little break before work, so figured get Joey a mic. We can ask him some questions for the big 90-mile-per-hour guy over here. Joey, so they can see. I don't think I have it on there. So just like sit over here, and they should be able to see you from there. And how about you actually do something
Feed you.
and just feed me? Feed me pelotas. So hopefully we got music playing. So hopefully it's not. Hopefully it doesn't mess us up too much. My neck is super tight today.
I'm gonna give you only bad balls.
Turn this sound off. I think that should work. Let's see. Not fast enough. Ball me.
Give me that one.
I have it like. All right. So, Mr. Joey, just figured I wanted to get you on the mic here and kind of let us know how you're feeling. I know you already got it at 95. You're savage, man.
The road to 90, dude. I changed
crazy.
it as soon as I got. As soon as I posted it, I changed it.
My goodness, why? Tell me why you don't just enjoy it for like 24 hours before you just make a new goal. How does that make sense?
Can never settle. No, I have it in my glove too. My orange glove.
What do
In
you
the
got?
palm, it says never settle.
Never settle.
Can never settle.
Well, looks like you're living by it. My goodness.
It's like, I don't know, 90 is like average. What pro guy sits 90? Like
I know.
just 90.
I know. You know what high school guy just sits 90?
Be different.
But yeah. So, like, do you think you're always like that, or like when did that mentality, shift? Because like that's probably the hardest thing to gauge. First 2 years you kind of did your own thing. Like mentally, like what changed, or what event happened that kind of like made you make that mental switch to like attack it?
Probably like the chance of playing college baseball. Like not many guys are playing college baseball throwing 76 miles an hour.
Right. So for you, it was, you started at 67, and I always say that, like, I think a lot of guys when they start training, and they're throwing in the 70s, none of them are really thinking about playing college baseball because I think they know. I mean, I'm not playing college baseball throwing 70, but I think a lot of guys kind of write themselves off early because they just don't see how much you can really improve in 4 years. You know what I mean? So, like, talk about that a little bit.
Like what? Like the college aspect of it?
Well, just like, what made you go from like, okay, I'm not playing college baseball to like, oh man, like there's a chance. And then also talk about like knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to that kid that hasn't made that mental switch? And, kind of like about that.
Well, I think what made me change was I was my first year of Top V, I was here like 3 sessions, maybe. I never came.
I'd say you were just over half the time here.
I was here, and I gained 9 miles an hour, weighing 120 pounds.
It was insane.
Like,
you were weighing like 115. It was insane.
I was like, I kind of throw hard for all these guys, and then I don't remember who told me this, but like, go look at like a college roster, right? Go look at Wright State, and they don't have a single guy.
Yeah.
Like the lowest amount of weight they'll have is a guy who's like 190.
I would say that's probably Zink. Zink was probably he's one of the guys. That's one of his go-tos. He likes to pull up college rosters.
Maybe that's what he told me.
That's probably Zink. Zink is he does that.
And even
that's
at like
go-to.
and they're like 190 throwing 94. So it's like obviously they have it. Like they have the weight, they have the muscle. And so that was really like the biggest change. That's probably when the mindset changed into on a psychopath, I guess.
It is. And you kind of have to be a little bit, because when we're talking about 23 miles per hour, like that's you don't just casually do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think from the outside looking in, if nobody knows like your progress, they probably still see you like a skinny guy, like a smaller guy.
Yeah, 100%.
But like, what would you say about that? Because I mean, the numbers are there, right? The broad jump, the vertical. you know, and obviously the size isn't there yet, but it's so much more than what it was.
I mean, I feel like I'm definitely stronger than most, like naturally, like physically stronger than most. Like most guys, 160 aren't squatting 315. I feel like. I feel like
What'd you get up to for
315?
315?
Now I'm building up
for
now.
5 though, right?
For 3 sets
for
of
3. Was it for 3? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I lifted 255 yesterday. I felt like a damn house, dude.
So I feel like I've like generated a lot of power, even though I'm not as heavy as most dudes. But then when I am as heavy as most dudes, like, what am I gonna hit?
Right. And that's just, you know, time, right? You know, it takes more time for you to be able to build that mass and actually be able to build that mass. Because I think a lot of people don't realize that it's like, you know, you weigh 170, 175 fluctuating wise, but it's like, yeah, I'm squatting over 315. So like the guys that are, you know, 210 squatting 275, they're like, it just doesn't click. They don't really see like, okay, well, I should be throwing harder than 80. But well, that's not true because like the formula, you know, isn't really adding up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like do your math real quick. You have your phone on you? Do your math like, so like your body weight times 1.5. What is that?
255.
255. So like based on our formula, you know, 255, you know, you're squatting for 3 sets of 315.
Yeah.
So like your power numbers for your size are through the roof. And I think, you know, so go ahead and put 210-pound guy. So a 210-pound guy times 1.5, what's that number?
315.
315. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's one piece that guys just don't seem to understand, like how massive, you know, how crazy it is that what you're doing in the weight room is wild. Because I posted those pictures yesterday, and you know, you started your junior year 135. That's crazy, dude. So talk about like where your plateaus were, like weight wise for the back squat and deadlift.
What does that mean?
And
plateau?
Yeah, like where were you? Plateau is like where you kind of were stuck for a while. Like was it in the 250s, 270s, and what helped you break past those?
I think I was stuck at 225. And I think the thing that got me past it was squatting more. Like I hated squatting. So I was only squatting like twice a week.
Yeah.
Now I squat like 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to go up. And also I wasn't sticking to the 5 to 10 pound increments. I was trying to go up like 20. And then it'd be too hard, and then I had to go back down. Then I'd do it again and have to go back down to like 235.
We'll talk about that, like, because when you have to restart over and over again, it feels like you're not going anywhere. So you don't see the improvement.
Yeah.
And that kills your psyche.
I mean, it takes a lot of discipline to obviously go up by 5 or 10 pounds each week. Like right now, I feel like I could definitely load up like 355 on that bar and squat it. But like for 1 rep, what's that going to do? It's not going to do anything.
Oh, come on, hop in. Say what's up, Noah. What up? You're on a video right now.
So, urgent message.
Oh, we got an urgent message.
I just made a pro case.
Let's fucking go.
So it's the 15th, and I just want to make sure that like pitching, like I'm gonna pitch at it. Everything like my ramping up is like.
It's like 180 heartbeats per minute right now.
Dude, I went to my
so exciting.
I went to my car and I was like scrolling. Cause, like TikTok's banned now, so I was like, what am I supposed to do? So I went to my email. And I was like, the fuck pro case?
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Everything's good, right?
Yeah, just hang out. Let's finish this video, Joey and I, and then we'll talk more about it. That's exciting. Congratulations, Big Noah. I guess throwing 91 on a step and throw for a junior is pretty good.
Something like that.
Um,
79s.
Hey, no 70. Arm feels so much better today. I'm telling you, it takes time to build up the arm.
Because your lower body feels like crap.
So, but like plateau wise, we were talking about how you were stuck and that you said 225 or 250?
Yeah, no, I was like 225, 235. I was squatting that for like a month probably.
And you got to 315. So like, you know, obviously that was a year and a half. Like, but what kind of you think gave you the most bang for your buck to like slowly start pushing? Was it that discipline of just going up very slowly?
That inconsistency.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't know, it takes a lot to only go up by 5 or 10 pounds each week, especially when you know you got more in the tank, but you're sticking to the program and trusting it.
Yeah. Oh, arm is not numbing today. 79 plus, so that's good.
I've had arm pain all off season so far.
Yeah, dude.
Knock on wood.
Let's talk about that pen. It was supposed to be a pitch design.
Zero
which is why I was kind of pissed, but also happy at the same time. It was a weird feeling for me, but when you work so hard for 90 and it's like, boom, 88.
At like 90%.
And I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous.
That was crazy. When I saw that 88, I was instantly in shock. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then 89 came. And I was like, dude, you couldn't have stopped me from going for 90 if you had a shotgun to my head. If you're like, Joey, don't throw. You cannot. You have to wait out. It was coming out of my head.
I know it was. So I was like trying to meet you halfway there. So I knew like you're not built up for it yet. So I was like, okay, we'll let you do one. We'll meet halfway, but that's it. I was done after one. Get your number and try to get back to that pitch design. So that was really cool. And I thought when you posted that video, you were like last year, this time, pitch design, you were just sitting 82, 83. Yeah, your first throw the other day was like 85. And I'm like, what the heck is going on?
It doesn't make sense out of me because obviously like I still feel like I'm skinny.
Yes. And you are skinny, but it's the perspective that's different.
So like every time I see like, even when we did the 80% on Tuesday, it was 85. I was like, dude, what?
Right. Yeah, and that's the funny thing too. Like you don't really get into your legs at 80% as much as you do when you.
No, I really don't turn it on until 90 or 100.
It's hard to manage. Let's talk about that. Like, well, you coach now, so what advice would you give like with the percentages? So many guys struggle with the percentages. I think you're a lot closer percentage-wise to most guys, or as far as like how you should do it the right way. Like, what's your thought process behind hitting your percentages?
I think on 70 and 80%, like if you hit a lower number, like say you're gonna throw 80 off the mound, like your 70 and 80% off the mound should be like 70, 73. Yeah. Like I would rather hit like a 71 at 80% than rip like a 76, and then my 90% be 77.
Right.
And then you're getting mind screwed on eval day because you're like, well, my 90% was 77%. Am I only gonna hit 78?
Yeah.
So
and we talk about like goals wise, like each offseason for 90% week, you're trying to hit your previous PR. That's what you're going for. Yeah. But I think the first year guys are always gonna mess it up just because they don't have like a basis for like where they were last year.
Yeah.
So like you knew going into this year what your velo was percentage wise each week. So did that help? Obviously you were surprised.
Well, it was all new because it was my like 70% on flat ground. It was like 81. I was like, that's what I sat off the mound. So I think once I got used to that, like, oh, like I'm gonna throw hard.
Yeah.
Like then you have to. It takes a lot of self-discipline to dial it in, and not like obviously like at 80% on flat ground, I was ready to go.
Dude, you've been ready to go.
I was ready to sling them.
You've been
like even 90%,
80% week when you hit the 84.
Yeah. Or 90 at 86. Like, dude.
Yeah. Like, can we go? Can we go?
I was ready for off mound when I hit 46 with the med ball. I was ready to throw baseballs that day.
I know. Oh yeah, that's right. The med balls too. So yeah, you were stuck in like low 40s.
Yes, forever. Forever.
Talk about like what the med balls help you do and kind of how the med balls kind of had translated to the baseballs.
Yeah, I think the med balls, some people don't like them, whatever. Some people don't. Some people, they don't translate. Like, look at B-Wit. B-Wit throws med balls as good as a 10-year-old. And he throws like 87 off the mound.
Correct.
But like, that's just raw talent.
Yes.
Like that dude, he's a talented guy.
Yes.
And I wasn't, obviously.
Yeah.
But
also to that point, like what would happen if B-Wit did start throwing the med balls better?
100.
Yes.
He would throw 100.
100%.
He is literally all arm.
Yeah.
Like 86.
Well, he's just a whip. So like med balls force you to like learn how to create tension through your body, and you have to like if you don't segment it well, you're not going to see the velo that you want on the mound.
Yeah. But I think the thing I love with med balls is they make me as most aggressive as I can get.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to me throw med balls, I'm grunting and screaming on every throw.
And that's
like you can't get hurt.
That's part of like the magic of it. You're able to work at a super high intent as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Without the need for or the risk for arm pain.
Exactly. And then it also translates to baseball. It's like moving aggressively, like wanting to, like, just hating the ground and hating the backstop and just throwing as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Like it just, I don't know. That's probably where the psychopath started. Was ripping med balls. Ripping med balls just throws my day in.
Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, since we're kind of getting to a good stopping point, was kind of mobility. Talk about like mobility.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the last thing we really focused on.
Yeah.
What do you have on that?
So my mobility was, I wouldn't say it's great now, but it's definitely, like, compared to other guys like Fry. Like, look at Fry's mobility is insane.
Well, you know, if you seen Fry when he was a sophomore, junior, or even a senior in high school, he'd be like, "You're out of your damn mind."
Yeah.
Because he's probably just as tight as you.
Well, look at me like a year ago, dude. Like wall stretch,
Yeah.
or like even like hip mobility and groin mobility. I haven't been so much on the glute mobility, but like definitely hip mobility. It was horrible. Like on the hip circuit,
Okay.
I couldn't even like get my knee up to get the circle.
Just on the fire hydrants.
Fire hydrant. That's what it's called. Like I couldn't even get my knee up, and now I can fly through them without any pain. Like I'd be sore the next day.
Was there ever a time that you were like embarrassed about your mobility?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
every day.
Well, I think that's a good point. So let's finish with that. Like talk about how you got over that embarrassment, because like some guys are embarrassed to be in the weight room because they can't lift that much. Some guys.
I was the same way when I was a freshman. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't just. Everybody is at a different point. Like you can't compare a freshman's squat to a freshman in college squat. Like if that's who you're like lifting with, like say I was lifting here with Zink, and Zink's deadlifting the house.
Yeah.
Like you can't be embarrassed by that, and I was.
Yeah.
But you can't. So I think
Yeah,
that's probably
much
the biggest
different spots.
understanding is that they're on their part of your program, and you're at your part of the program.
Different road, different routes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably the biggest.
You still went through it.
Yeah.
You still went through it. And I think that's one of those things. I think we can have like all the advice you want, but at the end of the day, you know, we can guide you through it, but at the end of the day, you got to.
Yeah, it's on you, 100%.
And that's the hardest part. We can kind of guide you as much as we can, but at the end of the day, like, we're not going to throw for you. We're not going to eat for you.
Exactly.
So we're definitely not going to do mobility, because I don't know how many people like mobility.
I mean,
I still throw harder than you.
we'll see.
We'll see.
You're building up. You're building up.
You got to break 92 is what you got to break. And
Hey, I had one throw and one pitching design without a slap. And I get how many?
Yeah, that's true. You didn't get a slap.
Remember what happened last year? Last year, the track man took like 8 throws before it even picked my velo up.
That's a good point. I'll give you that. Well, thanks for tuning in, boys.